In this lesson, we will examine negative exponents. For example, we will find the value of 2 to the power of negative 3. Now, as I mentioned in an earlier lesson, at some point we need to abandon the rudimentary definition of exponents that we all learned when we first begin studying exponents. If we use that definition, then we would evaluate 2 to the power of negative 3 by multiplying 2 by itself negative 3 times. But this doesn't make any sense. So, to develop a solid understanding of what it means to have a negative exponent, let's look at some examples. Now, one way to approach this expression is to apply the quotient law and subtract the exponents to get 2 to the power of negative 3. Another way is to write 2 to the power of 2 as follows, and then write 2 to the power of 5 like this. At this point, we can eliminate some of the 2's to get 1 over 2 times 2 times 2, which is the same as 1 over 2 to the power of 3. So, using one approach, we see that 2 to the power of 2 divided by 2 to the power of 5 is equal to 2 to the power of negative 3, and using another approach, we get 1 over 2 to the power of positive 3. So it must be the case that 2 to the power of negative 3 and 1 over 2 to the power of positive 3 are equal. Okay, now let's consider another example. Once again, we can apply the quotient law here to get 7 to the power of negative 2. Alternatively, we can first write 7 to the power of 6 like this, and 7 to the power of 8 like this. At this point, we can eliminate several 7's to get 1 over 7 times 7, which is the same as 1 over 7 to the power of 2. So when we rewrite 7 to the power of 6 divided by 7 to the power of 8, using two different approaches, we get 7 to the power of negative 2, and we get 1 over 7 to the power of positive 2. So it must be the case that 7 to the power of negative 2 and 1 over 7 to the power of positive 2 are equal. To generalize these results, we can say that x to the power of negative n is equal to 1 over x to the power of n. Okay, now let's use this rule to evaluate some expressions. For example, 3 to the power of negative 4 can be rewritten as 1 over 3 to the power of positive 4, and when we evaluate 3 to the power of 4, we get 81. So 3 to the power of negative 4 is equal to 1 over 81. To evaluate 10 to the power of negative 3, we can first rewrite this as 1 over 10 to the power of positive 3, and then we can evaluate the denominator to see that 10 to the power of negative 3 is equal to 1 over 1000. Next, we have negative 5 to the power of negative 3. This is equal to 1 over negative 5 to the power of positive 3. Now, negative 5 to the power of 3 equals negative 125, and we can rewrite this fraction as negative 1 over 125. 9 to the power of negative 1 is the same as 1 over 9 to the power of positive 1, which is equal to 1/9. And finally, negative 7 to the power of negative 2 is equal to 1 over negative 7 to the power of positive 2, which is equal to 1 over 49. Now, in addition to applying the negative exponent rule, we should also know how to take expressions and rewrite them using negative exponents. For example, this expression is equal to 1 over 3 to the power of 6, which can be rewritten as 3 to the power of negative 6. Similarly, we can take this expression and rewrite it as 1 over y to the power of 2, which is equal to y to the power of negative 2. Finally, 1 over w can be rewritten as w to the power of negative 1. Now, when it comes to raising fractions to negative powers, we have two options. For this expression, one option is to apply the negative exponent rule and first rewrite this as 1 over 2/3 to the power of positive 4, then evaluate 2/3 to the power of positive 4 to get 16 over 81, and then simplify this expression to get 81 over 16. The other option here is to apply this rule that says a fraction with a negative exponent is equal to the reciprocal of that fraction raised to the positive version of that exponent. So 2/3 to the power of negative 4 can be first rewritten as 3 over 2 to the power of positive 4, and when we evaluate this we get 81 over 16. Similarly, 1/2 to the power of negative 5 is equal to 2 over 1 to the power of positive 5, which equals 32 over 1, which is the same as 32. Okay, let's summarize. In this lesson, we learned the rule for handling negative exponents, and we learned a handy rule for raising fractions to negative powers.